Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormy B Man, and I am back. Welcoming you to the Tuesday Tussle for this Tuesday, October 28th, 2025. We're calling this one Against All Odds. Yeah. Welcome, everybody. I hope that you're starting your week off prosperous, in the right frame of mind. There's much work to be done. You know, when I come up with tonight's concept, it's on the heels of what we've been witnessing in the sport of boxing recently with battles that the outcome going in had people certain that it would be a one-way deal. But we found that all you got to do is watch the fights and allow them to happen. They will write their own stories. And what I'm talking about is the recent successes of fights that took place, like Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford, or even coming out of this past weekend where we saw heavyweights Joseph Parker and Truck Wardley. Listen, and on both occasions going into those matches, the consensus was that the underdogs really didn't stand a chance. The outcomes dictated a new perspective, so much to the degree that some of these guys who were, you can call them analysts, going in, they were for certain that the pendulum would swing one way. And in the aftermath, they were proven incorrect, and they have begun to put spins on what we actually witnessed, even going against their own pre-fight words, making it seem like they had a grasp of things the entire time. Oh, how foolish they look when they do that, huh? And Stormy B, man, always talks about, it's not about being right of who you're picking for the fights, but it's about being right in proper assessment of what's on the table to be considered going into the fights. And this is where some of them fall so short with their perspectives and their projections. And some of them are even former professional fighters themselves who are lending to really not much understanding of boxing. And that's a shame, because you would think that an experienced former world title contending fighter or world title holder would have something positive to bring to the table. But even when those guys are so short-sighted, it makes you wonder, how did they obtain success at all? Being so narrow-minded and not having enough of understanding the depth of which to look at these fights and the fighters. So that's kind of like what we're talking about this evening, against all odds, because the odds makers put those odds out there for betting and gambling. But you know, when the analysts speak the way they do, people kind of go with them because, oh, well, he's an expert. But is he? Or is he serving an agenda? It's hard to tell with some of these guys. But what I'm able to tell is, when the lack of knowledge is present, it screams. It's like a high-pitched decibel that the human ear can't receive. But Stormy B, man, is able to see it through experience and the wisdom and the depth of which I always take my viewpoints of boxing. Never in the shallow pool, way in the depths of the ocean, by comparison. So yeah, that's what we're talking about this evening. Welcome everybody out there. Yeah, please smash the like button as you come into the building, as we get ready to discuss against all odds. Yeah. Let's see who we got in the building. I'm going to take a quick moment, do a quick roll call. Let's see what we got going on here. Laptop's acting up. That's why there's a delay, fam. I gotta clear this memory out on this thing because it's like maybe I got too much information in there. I gotta delete some stuff. This is crazy, man. I'm trying to pull these windows open, but it's not allowing me to. Of course, you know I know what to do, but I'm trying to refrain from having to restart things. But I very well may have to do that. Okay, we back, family. We back. I just had to restart it. I hate when I have to restart it after if there were any indication that I needed to restart before going live, I would have done it that way. So my apologies for the delay, but we are here to discuss Against All Odds. Now, what assisted in me coming up with that title, as I was explaining earlier, is these analysts and pundits with their shallow viewpoints on the fights. When we saw Terrence Crawford challenging Canelo Alvarez, people were even being called stupid by some of these pundits for thinking that Bud Crawford would even have a chance. And for you to use objective thinking, it's never a stupid thing. That means that you have some kind of synapses in your wiring of your mind that you can think outside the box. And had people never used objective thinking to think outside the box, we wouldn't have some of the advancements that we have socially and scientifically in our society to this day. Practical knowledge is essential for survival. And we can see where some of these guys, they don't even use practical thinking. And then you can understand why some of their, especially when you're talking about some of those coaches and trainers, right? You can understand why some of their proteges, let's call them, aren't as successful as they could possibly be, because it's like they're not even tapping the pool of where development resides. And you need to be able to do that. Otherwise, you're just swimming on dry land, huh? How about that? Yeah. Now, I was going to get to that roll call. I'm still going to acknowledge who we got in the building. Let's see here. A few more have popped in since I had said that initially. Universal Truth was out there early. Derek Gaines. Stephen L. LeMac said he was on his way to work. Chilltown Majors is in the building. Kamara the Steppin' Razor. What's good? Dale Ribbs is out there. T. Berry. What's happening with you? Eric Jordan is in the building. What's happening with you, EJ? Who else we got out there? A lot of you are speaking back and forth to one another. My brother Drew Titan, LLC, in the building, along with the Painful Excellence Podcast and Bear Cave Entertainment. It's going down. And the rest of you guys are just greeting one another, which is okay with me. So, I got a chance to listen earlier today to some of those broadcasters from the UK. And they were talking about the fight, the heavyweight fight between Joseph Parker and Truck Wardley. Truck Wardley pulled that fight out because Joseph Parker didn't prepare properly. Did he train? Oh, I'm most certain that he did. But he and that guy, Andy Lee, who's supposed to be his head coach and trainer, devised a game plan that Parker did not stick to. I believe that one of the proponents of his initiative was to use his size and bulk on Fabio. An improper assessment because Fabio is younger, stronger, hits harder, and has a little bit more as far as ambition, hunger. At no point in this fight did we see Joe use wisdom, know-how. That old saying about take them out to sea and drown them. There was none of that. It was just machismo. Let me show you how big my balls are, huh? And let's go for it. Well, when you don't have the armory, the artillery to deliver in that regard, you may want to try some other things. And Parker had never been noted as a big puncher at all. Fabio has laid to waste several men that let you know that, oh, this young man can crack. So there were opportunities for Parker to do something different, and he didn't make the adjustments. In fact, once he got into the situation of fighting, which is Wardley's, it's his thing. You eliminate more of your own chances, opportunities for victory because you're swimming in his seas, his waters. And surprisingly, Andy Lee should know this, right? I mean, come on. We're talking X's and O's. And those guys on the TalkSport boxing panel that I mentioned earlier, they were talking about how the referee may have intervened a little too soon. The referee saved Parker's ass, man. Did you not see that guy getting bludgeoned to oblivion toward the end of the 10th round? When the 11th started, he tried to come out with machismo, and a single uppercut by Wardley staggered him and had him on Queer Street again. There should come a point in time when you get tired of getting that lick and being wobbled and shook, shaken, shattered. But again, as I've said before, Parker was never noted for high ring IQ either. But Fabio showed something, didn't he? Just as a layer of an onion, when you peel it back and you begin to get the aroma and the stench of the onion, and you find out the closer you get to its core, the more pungent, the more stronger that odor from the onion is. That's what we found out about what was under the hood with Wardley. Andy Lee is supposed to know these things, people. He's getting paid big bucks for this. But no, slap another 20 pounds onto Joe Parker and let's bully him. You know what the old saying about bullies, right? You bully the bully. Huh? And that takes all of that away. Just like when Bud Crawford got in there with Canelo, and Canelo thought he might bully Bud. No, sir. What he got out of that was, oh, they said he was little, but he's not really that little. He fights like a big man. In other words, the size of the fight within is larger than the frame that you observe from the exterior. Huh? Yeah. You ever took on a task and you said, you looking from the outside looking in, you're like, yeah, I think I could take care of this in a couple hours. You get inside and get intricate and involved in it, and you be like, man, it's going to take me 3 days to handle this task. Yeah, that's what happens, huh? Surface dwellers, that's what happens. Jose Diaz in the building. What's good? He says his corner should have noticed that. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. But people give them credit. Do I not say they talk about how great these guys are? Great? Great at what? Taking them checks? Yeah. Ravens Nation, salute. He says, did that with my car last week. 30-minute job took 3 hours. Yeah, it happens, right? At the most inopportune times, you look up and you like, man, I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready for it. See, I'm going to tell you what, at the end of the day, against all odds, what was the most difficult task for Joe Parker? You guys, I'm going to throw this out there to see how much you guys are in tune with Stormy and how I assess things when it comes down to what we're talking about this evening. Let me ask you the question. What do you guys, we got 10 people watching in the chat right now. What do you guys think was Parker's biggest mistake going into this fight? His biggest mistake. It could be how he fought or whatever. Give me, I want some answers from you, because we're gonna have some fun with this. Let me know what you think. Because when I was listening to those cats on Talk Sport, I was like, you know what? No. Listening to those cats, man. Okay, we got some answers coming in. We got Jose Diaz. We got Del Real. We got EJ. Anybody else? That's 3 people. We said we got 10 watching. Give me a couple. Give me a couple more. Okay, that's 4 with Universal. Give me one more person. Write an answer in there. Raven says overweight and not being defensively. Okay. I'll take those 5 answers, right? And let me say, Ravens Nation, EJ, Del Rib, and Jose, you're all 1,000% correct. I appreciate that you guys pay attention to Stormy B-Man and how he talks about the sport of boxing. How in the world could you think you can operate at your optimum being 20 pounds overweight? 20 pounds over the weight where Fabio is, who's your height, same dimensions. You're no puncher, you're no bruiser. It's obvious that Joe has quick hands, that he got good fast twitch muscles, which is great. But coming in at 262 pounds at 6'4", Fabio is 6'5" and came in at 241. And Fabio has an athletic build, whereas Joe has a more bulkier build. But what that tells me is he was happy with how he was eating. Because if he went into camp to train for the fight and made the weight of 262, what the hell was his weight before he started training for Fabio? Seriously. And they try to tell us, oh, he's lifting weights and he's putting on muscle. When Deontay Wilder put on extra weight to face Tyson Fury in the 3rd fight, he was not carrying the weight well. He still looked good because he has a thin build and everything, so that weight just made him look a little more of mass. But fighters like him, he needs that thin, readiness, leanness, because those are advantages for him, even against bigger, bulkier guys. Fabio wasn't worried in the least about Joe Parker and what he brought to the ring. But he had to have some sense of laughter when he got after him in the 2nd round and damn near put him out in the 2nd round, and Joe had to spit the mouthpiece out to get a break from that referee who was so horrible, as they say. He was horrible in that instance because Joe didn't need a break. He needed to fight back or tie the man up or something. And the referee called time because he spit the mouthpiece out. The referee was supposed to wait for a lull in the action. And the way that Fabio fights, Fabio ain't giving him no lulls. He's going to that skull. You understand? And the referee gave him help. And the referee didn't disqualify Andy Lee for being up on the ring apron right there in the corner, because that's where they were, in Parker's corner. Where was the acknowledgement for that? So everybody was fat-headed in that instance, huh? The ref, Joseph, and Andy, huh? 20 pounds go all the way around, don't it? Such foolishness, man. Do you know, as I'm speaking to you on this right now, that those guys over there at TalkSport, they didn't talk about that. They didn't. One of them mentioned that they thought that Parker was too heavy. But with what I just shared with you, everything is acknowledged from what you know. You know he got on the scales at 262. But what was he when he went into camp to train? You see? He didn't go into camp at 262. I bet you that. Jose Diaz says that is a very, very good point. Extra weight on your frame, you get tired, fatigued, and then you're facing a cheater. Who's the cheater? Jose, who you calling the cheater in this? Oh, Fury. Okay. Well, see, I wasn't talking about Fury. I'm talking about these two guys, Parker and... okay, because I made the Wilder reference when he went in, in that third fight. Okay, I got you now. See, I had to, bring it back and say, okay, I don't want to be off page, but I understand now what you were saying. But listen. If Parker had gone into that fight weighing closer to the weight where Fabio was, there's a possibility that the fight could have gone more favorable for he. But there's still a huge Achilles within the scenario, and that was his mental makeup. Parker wanted to show how tough he was. The best always show you how smart they are, outwitting the opponents. When Ali styled and profiled on his opponents in opposition, he stripped them of confidence, because he was so scientific in his method of boxing, putting punches together in combination, his movement, and his ability to evade the oncoming shots. Frustration would set up. And that was just Ali. But there have been other champions who have imposed themselves, like Frazier. Frazier would literally impose himself on you by getting in your chest and pounding you, not giving you time or space to get your work off, that you shell up and go on the defensive and go on the back foot and retreat. And he would just come on and on and on. That was an advantage that he had. Larry Holmes would put that jab on you. The jab could stop what you were doing. The jab could assault you in what you were doing. The jab could defend against what you were doing. The jab could halt and pause and frustrate, tantalize, and brutalize. It was an educated jab that Holmes would use. Evander Holyfield used to outwork his opponents in opposition. To outwork them, his work rate would be higher. And then when you try to match it, his intensity could go to greater depths, and then he would get into that. And that would be sometimes exposing places where some fighters just didn't want to go. The Klitschko's used to just keep you within a certain range, smack you around, then hold you or lean their weight on you and control you in that way. See, there's always been tactical means of controlling a fight. And these names I ran off is not only them, but I tried to use names that people could be familiar with. Parker adopted none of that against this man. There were moments in this fight where they were exchanging jabs, and it was looking like a jab contest. And Parker was doing fairly well, because one of the things he was able to do that Fabio wasn't doing very well is to hook off the jab. He would throw 2 or he'll throw 3 and hook. And, that was disrupting Fabio a bit. And by doing that, he kept Fabio thinking, hesitant a bit or whatever. So where's the acknowledgement by Andy Lee that this is what we need to continue to do? You see, these are the kind of things I talk about them, but it's like, okay, when you are in a situation where you are at a acute disadvantage, you have to figure it out and put yourself in a position where your advantages can come to the forefront. There's always someone with bigger balls. Always. But not all balls are clean. Well kept. And see, when Parker was in there with Wardley, what he was supposed to do is dress him up to take him out. Well, what does that mean, Stormy? Yeah, dress him up, meaning make him think you're going to box his ass off for the entire duration of the fight. And make him meet you at that point of combat. And just when he thinks you're settling in with that, boom, you switch it up on him. And you go into an attack mode. But not early, you do it later. Because you have trained his mind to think, oh, he trying to outbox me. That ain't going to happen. You see? Then you flip the switch and it becomes a battle. He got to play catch up. Because he's the least experienced guy, right? What the hell's going on with Andy Lee, y'all? I asked you that earlier. He making that money though, ain't he? Convos with Cam, salute to you. I see you out there. Blessings to you as well. Jose Diaz, the thing about becoming unpredictable as opposed to predictable, you need to have the flexibility to adapt, to make adjustments. Just as you said, make adjustments. Yes, you have to be able to do that. But your adjustments, they don't happen on the night of. They happen in the gym with preparation. And the other aspect of that is be prepared to make more than one adjustment. You see? Because let's say we're boxing and I switch it up and I want to fight a little bit now. Well, the other guy's like, great, he want to fight now. But my next adjustment, because he's adjusting to me getting ready to fight, is to stall that out again. And he's like, man, what is he doing? Already he's befuddled. But you have taken advantage of being versatile. So that's the thing that needs to be stressed here. And as I was listening to those men talking about it, they weren't speaking enough in the terms of what I'm sharing here. Because it's vital that a fighter has layers. Now, what was interesting was a post-fight interview that I heard from Truck Wardley. You know, you guys know why I call him Truck? Because he got a truck head. That's why I call him Truck. But anyway, Tonka Truck Head Fabio. Yeah. But anyway, he talked about them saying, well, the referee stopped it and he would have been out of gas because he had thrown a lot of punches, but not all the punches were landing. He remarked in answer to that, they don't know what type of conditioning I have. He said, I would have been able to continue. The reason that he fell out to the floor, he was overcome with joy. The fight is over, you know. Bam Rodriguez behaved the same way in his last fight when he finally knocked that guy out who was so defensive and everything. He stopped the guy and he just laid on the canvas and was like, oh my God, I did it. Celebrating. See, people be looking at the wrong things. Fabio was prepared to throw punches like that because he was in shape. Joe couldn't throw punches like that because he was not. Which is why the ref was looking at him laying up against the ropes. This image that I put up the screen from the fight shows you the posture he was in just before the fight was stopped. If you can't reach out and clinch and tie up the guy to break up his rhythm and everything, then the referee has no choice but to step in. It's happened before and it'll happen again. But those men talking about the fight, a panel of sexperts, as I call them, and they all sitting up and they're saying this and they're saying that, and I'm like, wow. These are the same guys that said Bud Crawford had no chance against Canelo. I had remarked about the Canelo and Bud fight. I remarked that Canelo in his last 5 fights fought no one who could defeat Bud Crawford. Think about that for a moment. They made no assessment of that. Let me go to BoxRec real quick. looking at Crawford and Canelo's last 6 opponents. Canelo's last 6 opponents before Crawford, going back: William Skull, Edgar Berlanga, Jaime Munguia, Jermell Charlo, John Ryder, Gennady Golovkin. None of those guys can beat Bud Crawford. None of them. Okay, Stephen L., have a good one, man. Have a good night, bro. See, even the sexperts couldn't figure that one out. But I spoke on it because I'm like, okay, I'm looking at what Canelo's been doing. He's been feasting on guys that don't provide challenge for him. Now let's flip over to Bud's last 6 opponents. Israel Madrimov, Errol Spence, David Avanesian, Sean Porter, Kell Brook, Iglesias Kavaliauskas. Now, what's interesting about Bud's last 6 opponents, especially the Israel Madrimov fight, there were people that felt like he didn't win that fight, but he won. It's good competition. There were people that felt like he would get annihilated by Errol Spence, and he annihilated Errol. David Avanesian was a guy that nobody thought would beat Bud at all. Sean Porter was a guy that people gave a chance against Bud. Kell Brook was a guy that people thought maybe at some point in his career, Kell Brook could have been a better opponent for Bud, but not at this juncture. And Kavaliauskas is a guy that y'all say that dropped Bud. Now, not only did he have these men with various circumstances that they brought to the ring for challenging him, he turned all of those around in different ways. See, that's another thing. When fighters can win in different ways, a variety of measures for success, that's a complete guy. Canelo stopped knocking people out a few years ago. He could drop people like Ryder, Charlo, Munguia, Berlanga, but he wasn't stopping people. It's something that bears looking at, people. And let's not forget this last little equation for Bud. He's 2 years older than Canelo at 37, now 38. Listen, stop it with the excuses, huh? Canelo got his ass whooped. And he told you basically when he said, I couldn't figure the guy out. Against all odds. Jose says, Stormy, do you know how many Latin channels I got blocked from? I told him, Terrence is different. He is different. I know how many of them tore up their TVs and left home and, you know, were on deletion watch and all of that. Terrence, are you ready to feel the Mexican power, Terrence? Yeah. Mm-hmm. They'll never get over that one, bro. They'll never get over that one. Bud is in the history books. And beneath him in the history books is Canelo. Against all odds. Good stuff, man. Truck is in the history books too. And just beneath him is Joe Parker. Joe the Beast, what's good? Jose says I'm on point 100. I'm always on point, man. It's like, this is not, well, for me, it's quite easy, huh? Because I'm going to tell you the facts. The other guys, they be trying to create narratives and everything. I was like, when have I pulled out something that is not the facts on here, man? Psst. Terrence, are you ready to feel the Mexican power, Terrence? I tell you, boy. And Joel Diaz, what was he saying? You know, if people think that Terrence Crawford can win this fight against Canelo, they're stupid. Where he at now? Yeah, all that talk, man. Max Kellerman, you were embracing being the villain. It was like, what? He's a hero, huh? Man, if you don't sit down somewhere, Max Kellerman. That's why I put my video intro up there. I forgot to use it. I've been doing videos, but I forgot to use it. But I'll play it one more time for you guys here. My Terrence Bud Crawford video intro. Huh? Yeah, Stormy B man knows how to do it, bro. Yeah, you see there? Convos with Cam, I appreciate them flames. Yeah, you see, again, when you put it together like that young man has put it together, you deserve all of that kind of stuff. You got people out here trying to put somebody in the ring to beat him instead of savoring what he's accomplished and be like, oh, wow, this man is really something, a generational talent that I'm glad that I was from this era to see him do what he does. No. Nope. Yeah, buddy. Uh-huh. I gotta remember to put the damn intro on my videos. Because I did that, a couple weeks back? Yeah, it was after the fight. Yeah. See, I make video intros, and I don't even be using them. I have them ready to go, huh? But that's a good one, though, for him. That's a dedication intro video. I don't have to wait till I do a video on him. I can just attach it to one of my latest projects. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Ravens Nation says, I've watched the fight versus Spence dozens of times and still find something new Bud did every time. Hey, man. There was something I noticed right off the bat when they were fighting live. Bud came out in a different defensive posture. He was using the Archie Moore like crab defense, and I hadn't seen Bud use that before. I'm like, man, he come out, and I think that was because, Errol Spence is southpaw like he is, so he was prepared to be able to pick certain shots off from the southpaw position of Spence. But little things like that, just little tweaks and adjustments. Didn't see Bud like that in those kind of postures prior to the fight with Errol. That means that he had worked on that specifically for him. So you're right, Ravens Nation. Joe the Beast says, Mexican guy at the job refuses to talk boxing with me now after I tried to tell him Canelo can't beat Bud. He loved when Bud whipped EJ, but now I get the silent treatment for him. Hey, let him go, man. Joe the Beast, let him go on about his business. Huh? But make sure if you do talk about Bud with anybody else, make sure he's within earshot to hear your, praise of the guy. That's how you really get him, huh? And maybe he'll throw his TV away too, huh? Because some of them don't need a TV. Jose Diaz says, I noticed that there's some fights he starts lefty, then he goes orthodox, making adjustments. Yeah, Convos with Cam says, I'm man down all day, and I'm still a boxing fan first. Proud of Bud's success. Yeah, and listen, Convos with Cam, just because you give someone credit don't mean you're not down with who you like. This is also another stupid narrative that those sexperts be putting out there because they make a person feel like you have to choose. I choose boxing, huh? Which is why when you go to my page and you see the litany of subjects that I cover with the sport, you don't even see it like anybody else. And you got bigger channels than me. They don't cover like I do. And I'm not saying that with pride. I'm saying it because of the variety of being able to talk about the sport. Huh? Bud ain't my favorite fighter, but I love what the man has achieved with his career. I want other fighters to do the same. I'm pulling for Devin Haney for something like that. I love O'Shaquie Foster. I want that man to be successful because these are guys who really take it to the max. Truck Simpson, Truck Wardley, I want him to be successful because he's out there. For every one of them that say he can't do it, he's showing them that he can. They used to say that same thing about Evander Holyfield, and he just kept winning and beating people's asses. And now that was my favorite fighter. But I've retired my favorite fighter, love. It's like I just love the sport now. You know what I mean? So when guys get together, I'm like, shoot, let's get it. You know? There's people out here who don't have an appreciation for the sport to that degree. And they just robbing themselves of enjoyment. Think about all the people that just supported Manny Pacquiao only. Huh? And then it's like, okay, Manny wasn't fighting, and oh, you don't watch boxing no more. There's been so much good boxing when Manny wasn't fighting. Come on. You rob yourself. Foolishness. Salute to the brother Joe the Beast out there in that Cash App. Brother, I appreciate your support. He says, keep talking that talk. Yes, sir. You know me, man. I'm going to say it. Huh? Some people don't like it, but hey, I don't care about that. I care to put the facts out there, brother. That's where I am. Thank you again for the Cash App donation, brother. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, me playing that Bud intro, that's got me fired up. I'm gonna have to remember to attach that to my next video. My video for tomorrow's premiere is already set and ready to go. So maybe on my next video, I'll have that intro in there. EJ says, I told so many Canelo fans that he was going to lose to Bud, but they sure lost a lot of money that day Bud beat Canelo. Yep. Convos with Cam says, I have always thanked you for the informative knowledge you provide. Thank you so much there, Cam. Thank you. But yeah, you know, this is why I can talk about the sport, because guess what? I know divisions, I know people from overseas, I know people that are in the country. That's being well versed, huh? And I still don't know everybody. So it's like when you introduce me to somebody new, I'm like, okay, let me add that dude or lady into the mix, you know? Ravens Nation is saying, how do you think Bud fares against 160-pound champions Lara, Janabek, and Adames? Well, you know, he and Adames are very familiar with each other. They did a lot of sparring together. But I'm going to ask you, how do you think they fare with him? Because he the man, huh? There you go. Now, I know Janabek really feeling himself right about now, but he ain't fought nobody and ain't did nothing, huh? But barely make weight on a few occasions and everything. He a butt whooping ready to be had, Janabek. Adames looked very good against Hamza Shiraz. They threw Shiraz in there thinking that he was just going to get a good victory over Carlos. And Carlos boxed the best I ever seen him look against Hamza Shiraz, and they called it a draw. He beat Hamza Shiraz. You see, Shiraz got the hell out of the division, right? And went up to 168. Yeah. He need to face Pacheco up there. They both 6'4". They could get in there and have a good fight between the two of them. And then that other kid that's 6'6" or whatever, Fundora, he need to stop messing around and get his ass up there, huh? And fight some bigger dudes. Stop hanging around the junior welterweights. I mean the junior middleweights and super welterweights. Get your big goofy ass in the ring with some bigger dudes that can challenge your ass. Yeah. Combo says, if I'm on, I definitely will remind you, bro. My mommy loves your premieres. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I appreciate you guys' support, you and your mother. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, man. But I'm not, listen, if Bud decides to continue to fight and if he wants to drop down to 160, let him do his thing. But again, I am not pressed to see what's next. I'm enjoying and basking in his accomplishments because all of y'all are not supporters. A lot of y'all was chomping at the bit waiting on him to get his, to somebody to beat him and everything. And he kept winning. He kept coming out on top. And there's still some haters out there on that tip, which is why they pushing. Yeah, let's see him do this now. Let's see him do that. Let's see him stand on one finger and with his toes up in the air and spin around and sing, the national anthem. What? Why you gotta do all that? You didn't ask Canelo to do all that, and all Canelo was doing was avoiding guys like Bud for the past 10 years. Man, it's crazy. It's like, look at it. It's always when a fighter is good and he does something, they already trying to find a way to bring him down. But when their warriors are on top, oh no, it's like, well, what do you expect from the heavyweight champion of the world? Tyson Fury walking through ESPN studios high on coke and misbehaving and cussing and swearing on live TV. And they're just like, well, when you're the heavyweight champion, people got to get out of your way. I'm like, what? Man. I watched that young man go from nobody to somebody. And like he said, anybody can be a nobody. And he whooping people so good that just like the Roy Jones song say, they say that I don't beat nobody, I just make them look like nobody. There you go. There it is right there. Yeah. So, but listen, man. Against all odds, Truck Wardley, Bud Crawford, two great examples of what we've had over the past couple of months. September and October. These guys lit it up. September 13th for Bud, October 25th for Truck. And listen, I'm loving it, man. I was trying to tell people about Truck before they had this fight. Nobody was paying attention to me, though. They still ain't gonna pay attention to me. Getting behind the wheel of a car, starting it and putting it in drive like they Ray Charles or something. Okay. So yeah. Lewis Hinton, what's good with you? I'm always gonna keep it real on this boxing, man. It's like there's a lot of places for growth, and there's a lot of bull crap that needs to be put to bed, man. There's a lot, because some of this stuff is just, It's really bad what they're doing out here. They're influencing people the wrong way. Yeah, influencing the wrong way. Trying to see, get my. Intro. There it is. But yeah, you guys, I've been on here a long time. I've been a little over my regular scheduled time, but I did have that little glitch and interruption in the show early. But I want to thank everybody that came out, who hit the like button, who showed support in the chat, the Cash App donations, man. I appreciate all of that. Be tuned in to my Kung Fu channel and my Temple of Culture and Entertainment channel, because I'll have content uploading over there as well. I'm working, man. I'm trying to get this thing turned around. The reason that y'all don't see those commercials and stuff no more, there's a reason for that. But as I get things turned around, I'll be able to explain that more. But I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Thank you for tuning in. Share the stream. Hit that like button. Peace.
if Canelo was 100% confident in himself, I don't know why he wouldn't fight me. Especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him, so he never got on steroids.
You think he's on steroids?
Of course. How does five?
You saw De La Hoya.
How do five people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids? Right. I mean, all those fucking dudes in that camp are dirty.
All gonna be the same.
I try it, but my body just not let me go. And you need to accept it. That's it. I hit Crawford, but no clean shots, like with all my power. He's a great fighter. He's a good fighter. He knows how to move and everything.
What a nice day. Look at Jessica. Jessica, what are you doing? You know you can't swim. Get away from the water, Jessica. Jessica, get away from the... Oh, my God. Somebody help Jessica, please. She can't swim. Go ahead. Jessica, run. Jessica, no. Oh, my God. No, Jessica. No, the water is pulling her back in. Where's the lifeguard? Lifeguard, hurry up. You can't swim. Jessica, no! Lifeguard, please save her! Yes, do lifeguard! Save her, no! Please, Jessica! Oh, look, hey! That husband is coming! Oh, you want to get Hey, please, save her! Jessica! They're coming now, they're here! Jessica.